Are we live? Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. It's Debbie and Rob.
Hey.
Hi. Today, we have a few things we want to talk about. We talked last time about sharing a few spoilers for the upcoming Sorcerer campaign that we have coming out, and also for some of the new Hero Realms stuff. I guess we'll start with Hero Realms. Rob is going to kick off with that.
Yeah, so I want to show off the Adventure Storage Box. So a lot of you have the Universal Storage Box for Star Realms, basically a big box to hold all the stuff, because Star Realms and Hero Realms are small games, come in little boxes, and they are great for traveling with, but we've come out with lots and lots of expansions over time. So people's collections have grown and grown, and you need a big box to hold them all in. So this is the Adventure Storage Box. Nice big beast. This one we have actually filled with a collection. So you can see the inside of the box. We have it's got all these dividers with various sets in them. This box is a little bit different from the Star Realms one. In the Star Realms one, we were trying to get the sturdiness level that we wanted out of the box. We ended up with very thick walls, which made the entire in the center, which made the entire box thicker. In this, we actually solved two problems at the same time. So basically, one issue is that we have in Hero Realms a lot of these oversized cards that are bosses for the campaign, and we needed a nice spot to organize those. So we made oversized dividers here and a section for them, and this has a crossbar here inside the box. That adds a ton of sturdiness to these. So we were able to, by making these walls basically very thick material and having this cross beam, we were able to get a level of sturdiness we were really happy with without having the double thick walls in the middle, which basically makes the whole box a little bit thinner with having the same internal space. So it's taking up a little less room on the shelf. As you can see, the rows are long enough that you can hold playmats inside. So we've got playmats rolled up and put in here, and every single set in the game, including all the stuff for the encounters broken up, all the the Lich, the Dragon, all those guys in here. So you have your entire collection sorted. Just like with the Star Realms one, these dividers are really nice. So they're a hard plastic, nice and thick. I don't know if we can see that at all with the camera, but it's really thick, beautiful material. So these feel great and look awesome. So this is the Adventure Storage Box. As you can see, it holds everything with room to spare. Right now, it comes with these big foam dividers. These are nice for keeping your cards in position. So let's say you don't have everything. You can put some cards up here, put the foam blocks in, and that will hold them in place when the box tilts. And they also take up room in the box. As of course, let's say years down the road, more Hero Realm stuff comes out, and you want to make more space in the box, you can just take the foam blocks out and just set them aside, and that will give you more and more room within the box. So as you can see, holds absolutely everything, plus with sleeves, with room to spare, and separate areas for your larger cards, your play mats, etc. So this is the Adventure Storage Box. We're super excited about it. Really nice quality product. The guys who at the factory who worked on these did a really great job, and they were very patient with us because we basically would keep sending things back and getting tweaks. We wanted to make sure with the redesign, the sturdiness level was correct, and So we do lots of back and forth, get a sample, check it out. Can you change this? Can you change that? Send it back and forth. And they did the guys at it was the guys at Panda, and they did a really great job with it. So that's the Adventure Storage Box. So what do we got next on our?
Well, Rob had asked. I think he wanted everyone to see that One Hero Realms card.
Oh,
so,
yes.
Katie, could you post to the Gruber You can also hold it up to the camera.
Sure.
Right
so
now.
yeah, we'll have it. We'll have
Yeah.
a link in the chat. But this is a printout of one of the promo cards. The Hero Realms Kickstarter stuff is shipping to backers around the world. Obviously, the pandemic situation has impacted fulfillment centers worldwide. So we're having sort of a slow rolling fulfillment going as each area is doing fulfillment to the best of their ability. Some are shut down for a little while, and so, for example, in the EU, the shipping got shut down just before our stuff shipped out. So as soon as things are back up, GamesQuest will be shipping the stuff out in the EU. Australia, I believe they're done shipping. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So hopefully, if you're a backer in Australia, if you got your stuff.
Definitely seen some people post that they got their stuff.
Yeah. And the US, we are, I believe, starting slow.
Should be starting this week.
Yeah. So, and that's going to take longer than normal, of course, because they are doing social distancing within the fulfillment center, etc. So, but stuff is moving. It's taking a little bit longer, but stuff's moving. One of the cool promo cards that is in the Kickstarter exclusive pack is Gruber the Wayfinder here, and this guy is very cool. Basically, when you've played a champion this turn, you can activate him to draw a card and then discard a card. So it has that wild ability from Hero Realms to sort of dig through your deck quickly. But you can only activate him if you've played a champion that turn. Now it counts himself, so when you play him, you can activate him right away and dig. And he's a guard, so even if he was the only champion in your deck, when you played him, you get to do the draw and discard effect, and then in the meantime, he's there protecting you, a big wall. But if you have, of course, in Hero Realms, there are lots and lots of champions in the deck, more than there are bases in Star Realms, for example. So you're going to be able to activate him fairly frequently, and obviously that also depends on your class. So if you're playing a cleric and you've got the two followers, the two champions in your starting deck, then in that scenario, Gruber's going to be a little bit more awesome for you. And this card, of course, was the artwork was based on one of your fans. Again, there's a link, but I'm going to get a little close up of the face there. So. But yeah,
he's also a retail store owner, and he's very active in our online communities, and you'll see him in the Facebook groups. He's super awesome, so he is super excited to get his cards.
Yeah,
he wants to get a lot of just that one card.
Yeah,
which I'm gonna see if I can get that for him. But yeah, his card came out really cool. So
yeah.
We have cards based on people either from winning tournaments, or also it's something that people can get in the Kickstarter itself as well.
Yeah, and speaking of retail stores, we mentioned it last time, but just a real Deb, can you give a real quick explanation of the retail program?
Yeah, so we're running the program right now. Most local game stores are closed, as you know, in many states in the U.S. and other parts of the world. They're required to be closed or chose to be closed for very good reasons. So we wanted to be able to have a way for them to sell games to their customers and still make some money during this really difficult time for everyone. So if you buy right now during the month of April from our online store, which is shop.whitewizardgames.com, and when you go to checkout in the notes section, put your store's information, so the name of your store and the mailing address and the email if you have it. That's really so we can identify and make sure we're giving the money to the right store. We will give them 25% of the sale price. And that includes if you didn't participate in the Kickstarter for Hero Realms, you're like, oh, this new stuff looks really cool. You can pre-order the new things and they will get 25% of that sale. And we also have a lot of items on sale in the store. So our new stuff, which is for pre-order, is not on sale, but all of our other games are on sale. So we've reduced the price to make it more affordable for people, and we're giving 25% to retail stores. Our online store isn't a big channel for us normally, but we're encouraging people to buy from our store because we do really want to help out local game stores. So please consider that if you're looking for new games to play. For now, like we said, Quartermaster is still shipping, and they are our fulfillment center. So as long as they stay open, we will ship. If you're outside of the U.S., we will still fulfill those orders from here. So it might take a little bit longer for you to get your games. But for the time being, it looks like Florida is not going to be closing down. And as a logistics company, they're not, and they are considered an essential business. So for the time being, it looks like we'll continue shipping. It's just a little slower than usual.
Yeah, keep in mind they are doing the social distancing within the fulfillment center, which means everything takes longer. So basically, your shipping will take a little bit longer, but you can get awesome games which are great for 2 players. So if you're, if you and your spouse or or your parents or whatever are locked in a location, great games for small numbers of people. And you can support your local game store at the same time. Make sure that they're around for you after this all over.
Yeah, and Katie posted the link in the comments. Looks like we also have some comments. So let me take a look here. So people are asking about conventions. I don't know if we want to comment on conventions. We have an Australian. I don't know how to get rid of that. Stay on this page. How many expansions are planned total?
For which?
I'm not sure, John, which game you were asking about. We're a little behind reading the comments.
So the answer is lots for all of them. So basically, the way we tend to do things with our games is to create a base game which has as much awesome play and replayability as we can possibly jam in there. For Wizard games, it's not unusual for people to play them like literally hundreds of times. Sometimes, like thousands of times. So, like for me, when I buy a game, I'm happy if I take that thing off the shelf a dozen times throughout its existence. That's a good purchase for me. But with the games we make, we really strive to have the replayability just be through the roof on them. And so we'll have we have base games with tons and tons of play, and we try and make the artwork, etc., as good as possible. And with Hero Realms and Star Realms and Epic Card Game, the initial packages are incredibly cheap, like $15 to $20 for the game. And for 2, sometimes 4 players out of that at that price point. So you just get an amazing amount of play. And then we make a lot of expansions over time. So we'll revisit the game, add expansions, and those expansions are either small packs which give you which can be added to any of the base sets, or sometimes they're standalone games which are also combinable with the original stuff. And so the idea is that there's lots of room to expand if you're into it and you really want to add stuff, but nothing is required. It's never like, oh man, I don't have this expansion, I can't really play. No, that's not the way we do it. The games are rich and have lots of gameplay, but generally speaking, with our games, we just keep coming back and adding cool new content. It's a little bit how like a trading card game like Magic approaches things, where you're just continually adding new content that you can play as fresh content, or you can combine with your old stuff, except we're way, 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 way cheaper. But So yeah, I'm not sure which game you're referring to, but that's the general strategy, which covers all the games.
So we had a couple comments. So yeah, we had an Australian who's already gone through some of the scenarios. Don't tell
Yay!
us 'cause, we don't have our new stuff yet. I told Ludo Cherry they make gaming clothing wear, and I'm friends with them on Twitter, and they got their stuff, and I'm like, I didn't get my stuff yet. So, but that's awesome. On convention, someone asked about Gen Con. We're not we're hesitant about conventions happening in this calendar year in the summer, even end of summer in the August timeframe, and even in the fall timeframe with the current situation. We've been tracking the situation, and we want to keep our staff safe. So I would say certainly Gen Con is, if it were to happen, is not going to be nearly as large as it normally would be. And I'm not personally, we're not sure it is going to happen. I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yeah. So obviously we love game conventions. That's a big part of our of the way we do our business. We go to cons all the time. We have big booths. We try and run lots of tournaments. So it's a big focus for us. Unfortunately, the awesome nature of game cons with tens of thousands of people all coming together and playing games makes it really tough right now. I don't know when, obviously it's not our area to know when that kind of thing will be, opened up to, to the world. My expectation is that there will be no big cons like that for us to do in this calendar year. But when it's safe and big conventions are going again, and it's safe for tens of thousands of people to gather in the same convention center again, we will be there again. Where we love cons. We will be there. Interacting with the fans. Running tournaments. All that sort of thing. So we can't wait for them to be going again. We miss all our convention friends, but yeah, my expectation is it'll probably be.
Yeah. Someone asked, and you may have answered this, whether the Hero Realms box was exactly like the Star Realms box.
So it's got space for card wise. It is exactly. Basically, you've got the same. The interior rows are the same length and the same internal width. But the box itself is a tiny bit thinner in this direction because instead of the super thick walls with no crossbeam support, we've got still very thick for basically the thickest material they had as a single panel. But it's got that crossbeam for that area to hold the oversized cards. So we were able to make the box slightly thinner overall, while having the same interior space and having really good structural strength because of that the section for the oversized cards. I see any news on the Sorcerer Kickstarter. So that's been a major focus of my daily work and Peter's daily work. As I mentioned last time, the Sorcerer Kickstarter has been pushed back and back and back and back, and that is not because we.
It's all Peter.
Well, it's
no, I'm just kidding.
It is largely Peter, but Peter being awesome. So basically, there's been more and more content and cool things that Peter wanted to add to the Endbringer Kickstarter. So we have been working nonstop on Sorcerer for this whole time, and we basically pushed the Kickstarter back. There was more cool stuff that we wanted to put in it. So it's going to have the Endbringer Kickstarter, which will be coming soon to Kickstarter. It's we're in the like probably about a month away time frame. It may be a little sooner, maybe a little longer. Basically that's the building out the page and the video and stuff. I've basically Vito is who does graphic design and video stuff for us is working on putting the video together, and and I'm building out the page, etc. But we're going to have the new characters, lineages, and domains. Do we have?
Yeah, so I've been kind of typing in the back trying to sort out our technical issues. So next time I'm gonna actually see if we can add a second camera instead of trying to do everything within the single window. But we have a few pieces of art we wanted to share. Katie is saying we were gonna have her post them in the comments, but that seems to be not happening. She's going to be posting them, and she may already have posted them on the Sorcerer Facebook page. So Rob's going to talk about the different pieces of art. So you may want to open a second tab to the Sorcerer Facebook page. Katie, if you can post a link to that, and just be patient if she hasn't posted all the art there yet, but the art is amazing, of course. And Rob has some notes here. So if he looks down a bit, that's just to make sure he's covering everything.
So first off, on the Endbringer Kickstarter as a whole, we're going to have the new content that we'll have. We're going to have new character lineage and domain packs for Sorcerer. If you've the Sorcerer base game has 4 characters, 4 lineages, 4 domains. When you when you play Sorcerer, each player creates a Sorcerer by choosing 1 character, 1 lineage, 1 domain. You take the cover cards off of each of those and set them next to you. Those give you special abilities you can use during the course of the game, and the rest of the cards get shuffled up, and that makes your deck for the game. So there's 64 possible Sorcerers you can build out of the base game alone. So when you add these characters, lineages, and domains, it gives you more and more content, more and more possible Sorcerers you can build. So we'll have new characters, new lineages, and new domains in this set, and those are really, really cool, beautiful art, really neat mechanics. So those will be a lot of fun to play. And then we also have the Endbringer set, which gives you solo and cooperative play in Sorcerer, and Peter's done a really great job with this. It has super high replayability, just like the Sorcerer base set. So when you play Endbringer, you basically create the bad guy in the scenario you're playing, kind of like you create a Sorcerer. So you will choose a man-eater. These are the big bad guys. They have multiple names, but they
just joined the chat, by the way, so he might pipe in.
Yeah.
In chat.
So you'll choose the big bad guy you're playing against, the man-eater you're playing against. So we'll have 4 of those in the box, and then you choose a horde, an army that the bad guy is leading. And then you choose a ritual, a mission that the bad guy is trying to complete. So just like you can create 64 different potential Sorcerers in the base game, you will have you can create 64 possible bad guy scenarios that you are playing against with the Endbringer set. And so lots of cool combos and again, tons and tons of replayability there. So I don't know if people are if we have the link to the art up, but I'll just checking to see if we
I'll check and see if she started posting it up.
Okay,
yep,
so I just want to take a quick look on the page just to see what's up, and I'll talk about those guys a little bit. But we have for the anyone who's familiar with Sorcerer knows it's got some really cool artwork in the game. Just beautiful pieces. We've got some phenomenal artists working on all of our stuff, and Sorcerer is no exception. Some really great stuff, and it's got a very unique and cool style for Sorcerer. So there is a piece of artwork. Are they named in there?
This is no, but we'll go in order of the order that the post.
So there's a green like godlike guy floating with a moon in the background. This is Hypnos. This is one of the man eaters, and so this is one of the big bad guys that you play against. And you can see that just the art again. About it.
Link
really awesome.
Okay, she's putting the links.
Great.
So it was Hypno.
Then we've got next we've got one of an example of one of the demons in the demon horde. So one of the various armies that you can play against is the demons. Then we've got a piece of a dark unicorn, piece of unicorn artwork.
Our favorite.
Yeah. We have a Irish domain coming up. It's a Bewitched Woodland and woodland creature unicorns, fairies, really, fae, yeah. So that's a really awesome one we're excited about. Then we have so that was the woodland. There was the woodland domain, and now we also have a domain with vampires. Got a of vampire artwork, and that's so Peter Schultz, who is the designer of Sorcerer, the game designer. He is also one of the artists from Sorcerer, and he does art direction. He's basically Lord of Sorcerer, and this is an example of one of Peter's pieces. Also a bunch of great pieces in the base set. So and we have some cool new characters. So Sorcerer set in the Victorian era, and the original Sorcerer box set, the battle that you're playing is in London itself. But the awakenings of the sorcerers are happening worldwide, and there are sorcerers in various parts of the world. So we have a example of one of the new sorcerer characters packs. So it's Seth, the gunslinger. So the American the Wild West was at the same time period as Victorian London. So this is a sorcerer in the Americas. And Seth is really cool. He is a sin eater. He gains magical energy from the sins of humans. And so he has sin cards in his deck. And this is a new card type. And there are 7 of them for the 7 deadly sins. And when he plays them, they then get attached to his character card, and thematically, he takes the magical energy he draws from sins, and he crafts that magical energy into bullets. So he has these magical sin powered bullets that he can shoot. So he can unleash the sins that he's collected over the course of the game in a deadly barrage, dealing a bunch of damage to an area. So that's one of the things. And that cowboy looks strikingly familiar. He looks, I don't know, maybe a little bit like Peter, I'm thinking. But yes, that's some of the stuff we've got coming for Sorcerer. Really, really fun, and the solo and cooperative play is great. A lot of the play testers were talking about how they really prefer playing the cooperative versus the PvP, and obviously the PvP is great. We love the PvP, but yeah, I think you guys are really going to love it. And as always, tons of really great artwork, and and Peter's been pouring his heart and soul on it. We're sorry we're taking longer than expected to get that that Kickstarter launched, but really wanted to get as much of that work done up front, and have when Peter has ideas for additional content, it's really hard for me to say no, because the stuff he comes up with is just so awesome. So yeah, we're really grateful for the all the awesome work he's been doing on it, and it'll be coming soon, and it'll be, and it would have been if we did it before. So
yeah, we'll share some more next week.
Yeah, indeed.
He sent us a lot.
Awesome. What's next?
Does anyone have any questions for us or anything that they want us to cover? Let me take the comments. Oh, he said Seth is totally unintentional. It just happens that like a wild cowboy looks like Peter.
Just completely coincidental.
All the big questions. A question about Origins from Alex. Whether we plan to do big events at Origins in October with the new date. So we just got the information about the new dates of Origins this week.
Yeah. So as I said, my expectation is that we will not be doing conventions this calendar year, and we will be pushing them back to next calendar year. There is a huge amount of planning and work that we have to do to get ready for a convention. If I had to wager, I would say that while economies are going to be doing much better and things are up a lot, I don't think by this fall they're going to be in the stage where they're going to be like, okay, awesome, 30,000 people get in the same building. Like I think it's going to be a little more gradual than that. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope things are open and they're faster. But basically, we're not going to plan our big events for our normal big events that we do at Origins. We're not going to plan for doing them at Origins this year. I want to push that back till next year, because basically all the my expectation is that big events won't be happening in that time. So what would end up happening is we do tons and tons of planning and work, and then it would just get pushed back anyway, because the areas would not be ready to those big cons. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but that's my thought. So we're gonna push back to basically we're gonna just concentrate on our 2021 planning for events and such. We're obviously really sorry. We love the big events and the big conventions. That's one of the core things we love doing. We love seeing all the fans and doing we did last year. We did the get together with the fans at Origins. We were planning on doing that again this year, but but we'll but basically, don't worry. We're going to be doing. When things are open back up for cons, we're going to be doing all that stuff again. We're super excited about getting back to it. But basically, as far as planning out, we're looking at 2021 for the cons, just to ensure that the big efforts we put into planning are for things that are happening as scheduled. So that's our current.
And you might say, why haven't we announced it yet? Because we literally spent time right before this call going through all that. So these calls these Facebook Lives that we're doing once a week, so that you can get information from us as quickly as possible. We will be posting the same information we're sharing here. We will be sharing out into Facebook groups and in our newsletters and things like that. But you hear it as soon as, if we have the answer in our mind or think we know what we're going to do, we'll share it on here.
Yeah.
We're going to, part of the idea of having these Facebook Lives, well, first of all, we're lonely being here, just us. We need to talk to some other people. But also just so that we can be more transparent. We've always, wanted to, we're very open people. We want to be as transparent as possible. A lot of people are at home and are on social media right now. So we thought, well, this is a great time for us to be doing these weekly calls. And we intend to do these even when we do pick back up our travel schedule on time, or, you know, do it from a hotel room or whatever. But if you like this, let us know. If there's things you want to see us doing on here, let us know. If you have questions or topics you want to see covered next week or following weeks, you know, let us know. You can also shoot us messages on social media as well. I do want to do a shout out on the coloring page contest, where we created some coloring pages. They were really fun, and posted them up. We will be doing some more as well, because I think they were really fun, and both kids and adults have gotten to them, which is great. We'll be announcing winners and prizes over the next couple weeks. But I did want to just mention that in case people didn't know doing that. You can look on the Facebook page. You can still enter. You just post on any social media and tag us. If we know you posted it somehow, you know, you'll be entered. And take a look on, Katie maybe can post a link here of some of the cool ones, but there's been some really cool ones posted on all different social media, which has been really great. So I'm glad people are having fun. You never know when you roll something like that, if it's going to go well, if it's going to be a bomb. So thank you. Thanks for making your kids color our stuff. I hope they actually had fun. But if you have other ideas for things we can do, which you think would be fun, like, we're totally open and flexible to ideas. We mentioned about the conventions. You know, we're looking at what we can do to keep the community together, help grow it, you know, during this time. So people have ideas. I know, you know, there's a lot of players that run awesome things as well. I'm happy if you want to mention like your tournaments and various things that you're running online in the comments on the Facebook Lives. Feel free, if there's things you think would benefit the community, feel free to post them in the comments below. And if you need prize support for anything you're doing that's remote tournaments, just send me a message, send Katie a message. We will get you prize support. We're still able to send. We have some stuff here at our house, and like I said, right now we're able to send from Quartermaster as well.
And there's awesome Facebook fan pages for the games. I know the Star Realms guys are running a charity tournament, and there's just lots of awesome stuff going on. So we really appreciate our, you know, all of our fans and all the stuff they do, keeping you know, creating their own events, and we love to support those in any way we can. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else? We good?
I don't have any other last questions, guys. Let me make sure. I think we're good. Thank you. And as Katie said, we'll post this also on the YouTube channel. But thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
See you Tuesday.